Okay, let's have a look at paper 1 for the English language GCSE. You've got 2 papers to sit, that's 2 exams, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 is your creative reading and writing. So we're going to have a look at that one first, and this is just an outline of the exam. We're not going to talk here about how to answer the questions, we're just going to have a look at the structure of the exam and a bit of exam technique at the end, how you might tackle it according to the time you've got and how you're going to answer the questions, which order. So your total amount of time is 1 hour and 45 minutes. That's for both exams, you get the same amount of time. And that includes 10 minutes reading time, which is important that you make use of. The marks for the paper are 80, and based on what's happened in previous years, a grade 4, if a grade 4 is what you're aiming for, you might not be aiming for a grade 4, but if a grade 4 is what you're aiming for, then you need a minimum of half marks. So you need to be thinking that each question you answer, if the question is out of 8, you need 4 of those marks as a minimum in order to secure a grade 4. So the exam is made up, both papers are made up of 5 questions. And that's part A and part B. So if you think of part A as the reading, that's questions 1 to 4, and part B is the writing, which is question 5. The reading for paper 1, you'll be required to read one text, which will be an excerpt from a book, and it will be fictional. Your first question in the paper is you'll be asked to list 4 things from the first few lines of the reading. And this is worth 4 marks. This is a nice easy question at the beginning. It's worth 4 marks, so if you think of each mark in the exam paper as being worth a minute, so a mark a minute, you're going to spend 5 minutes. Let's just round it up to a nice even 5. Okay. Question 2 is your language. That will be where you have to look at one paragraph in the text and comment on the language. That's worth 8 marks, so we're going to round that up to the nearest 5, that's 10 minutes. Okay, so 8 marks, you're going to spend 10 minutes and not more on that question. Question 3 is your structure question. That's also only worth 8 marks, so only 10 minutes on that one. Question 4 is worth 20 marks, so you can see that's a much more important question. This is the one where you're really going to demonstrate how much you understand what you've read, how much you understand the text. So that's the one where you're going to put in all of your brain power. So you're going to spend 25 minutes on that and try and get as many of those marks as possible. And the last question on the paper is your creative writing. So you'll be asked to write a story or a piece of descriptive writing. It's worth 40 marks, so that's half of the exam, remember? So you're going to spend a full 45 minutes on that. And that includes your planning time and your checking over at the end for spelling, punctuation and grammar. Okay, so give yourself time at the end to read through your writing. And that is also the question on paper 1 where you'll be given a picture. So you can either write something based on the picture, or there'll be another option as well to write a story or a descriptive piece. Now, most teachers will recommend that you don't necessarily do these questions in the order on the paper, because you can see the most important question, the big one, the 40-mark question, is at the end of the paper. So if you run out of time for that question, you've really scuppered your chances of securing lots of marks. So let's have a look at an exam technique you might want to use. You've got 1 hour and 45 minutes. So you're going to come into the exam, sit down at your table. You've got 2 booklets in front of you. One has got your questions in and one is the text that you're going to read. So spend 5 minutes reading the text and reading through the questions so you know what you're in for. And then have a go at doing your writing first, because you're in the exam, you've got the most amount of energy at the start of the exam. Those 40 marks are what you're going for. You want as many of those as possible. So do a nice piece of your best writing, your best creative writing, and spend 45 minutes on it. When you've got that done, when you've got your writing done, you're halfway through the exam then. Okay, so that's 50% of the paper done. Go back to your reading questions and do question 1 and secure those 4 marks, because those 4 marks, question 1 is your nice easy one, so just get all of them. Make sure, check over, make sure that you've done them nice, because you don't want to miss out on one of those marks. 5 minutes on question 1. And then read through the whole text again. Make sure that you really understand that text and what it's about. So another 5 minutes, then that's your reading time done. And then look at question 4. So this is where you're really going to demonstrate your understanding of the text, and you're going to analyse the writing. So you'll be asked to what extent do you agree with a statement about the piece of text. Okay, so nice 25 minutes on that. And when you've got that question 5 and question 4 done, you're almost there. You should have 20 minutes left now. So go for question 2. Your language question, it's 8 marks, it's 10 minutes. So you can blast that one out, and then your question 3 at the end. And the reason that I advise my students to leave question 3 to the end is because it's the structure question, and it's the question about the whole text. So it's very tempting, because it's asking you about the whole text, to write more than is necessary. It's only 8 marks. So we'll look at in another video how to do question 3 nice and fast at the end of your exam. Okay, if I was doing the exam, that is how I would tackle it. So you don't have to do it in that order, it's just a recommendation. Okay.